Hello. In preparation for our start, if you could please silence your cell phones. We'll be starting with the countdown that's on the screen, but please silence your cell phones. Thank you. Good afternoon. Let's try that again. Good afternoon. Great. Welcome to the annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Celebration, brought to you by the Montgomery County, Radford City, Floyd County branch of the NAACP. My name is Dr. Kraisha Townsend, and I serve as the NAACP Executive Committee member at large, and also as Assistant Provost at Virginia Tech for Diversity and Inclusion. I have the pleasure of serving as the MC for this year's MLK event. I'd like to first thank the Church on Main for allowing us to host the event in your beautiful church. Thank you. And then hello and welcome to all of the distinguished guests, the Executive Committee, MLK Planning Committee, the members of the NAACP, to Daniel Taylor for serving as our pianist today, and to everyone that braved these frigid temperatures to be with us here today and this afternoon. We're delighted that you've joined us to honor the memory of Dr. King, a visionary leader who changed American culture forever. This year's theme is Inspired by the Dream. It starts with me in building a beloved community. Today we come together to recognize what one person did with their life. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a minister, civil rights advocate, thought leader, social reformer, author, and recipient of countless accolades and awards. Winner of the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize, a parent, a husband, and a brother. He sought peace in America during the 50s and 60s. Some of those same issues that he advocated for are still impacting America today, more than 60 years later. So the work continues. We begin our program with an opening prayer, and I'd like to ask Reverend Tommy McDearest to come to the stage for that. Thank you.
Now, if you can teach my church to applaud like that when I get up, every time I get here, don't say a word. Thank you for coming and being with us today as we gather here. Let's pray together. Father, I thank you for an opportunity to be here. I thank you for what this day means. And thank you for Dr. King's life, for the fact that he invested it so freely and that he did all that he knew how to do to reflect your love and your grace to the world, even in the midst of a world that was doing anything but trying to reflect love and grace toward him. Let that be a lesson to all of us, O Lord, as he followed in the footsteps of Christ to try to be a peacekeeper and a peacemaker. Help us to do the same with our lives. Help us to honor you well as we gather here today. We pray that you will invoke your Holy Spirit upon us, that as we come into this room, that we will remember that Dr. King only referred to himself with one title, and that was a minister of God. Help us, O Lord, to take seriously what it means to be your servants, and help us to do the best that we can to offer our best in your name and in his memory. Make this a day not only of remembrance, but a day of dedication to what matters. For it is in your name we offer our prayer. Amen.
All right. Thank you, Reverend McDermott. I appreciate that prayer. We all know that for Dr. King, faith was such a central part of his life and everything that he did. Next, I will ask you all to please stand. In singing, lift every voice and sing. Now, I will not be leading this. I will be standing at the podium with you all. So we're going to sing together corporately as a group. Thank you. Give yourselves a hand. And I had to make the distinction that I would not be leading that song because my husband said, "Who's singing that?" Not me, because he already knows that that is not my ministry. All right, we are about to get into the segment where we actually pay tribute to Dr. King. It'll be kicked off by our NAACP Youth Council advisor, Dr. Cheryl Graves, and I'll bring her up shortly. But first, I want you all to envision with me a young Dr. King. He was young, around the age of 15, when he first started college, 15. Following in his father and grandfather's academic steps, Martin King Jr., born Michael, was 15 when he entered the doors of Morehouse College in 1944. He was able to skip the 9th and the 12th grade. He pursued a degree in sociology. Fitting, I know. Also, I don't want to breeze past the part that his birth name was Michael and not Martin. His name was changed at the age of 5 when his father, who was also a pastor, went on a pilgrimage to Germany and learned more about Martin Luther, who was a scholar in the 15th century. And so he was inspired by this 15th century monk and scholar in the work that was done in the Reformation of the Protestant church. So Martin Luther King became Martin Luther King at age 5. So for this tribute portion, we'll have the Youth Council, Dr. Cheryl Burrow Graves, leader, come up, followed by the voices of the churches on Maine's choir, and Dr. Deanna Kate will sing Dr. Martin Luther King's favorite song, which was Amazing Grace. So in that order, please join me in welcoming to the stage our next performers.
Good afternoon, all, and thank you. Yay, you guys sound great. As Kreisha stated, I am the co-advisor of the Montgomery County Radford City Floyd Youth Council. And first, before I begin a poem tribute, I'd like all the youth who are here today to stand and be recognized. They're in the back. Thank you. Today on this day, as we celebrate the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr., I'd like to read a poem by Richard Blanco. It's entitled, "One Today," which was originally read at Barack Obama's second inauguration in 2013. As Martin Luther King strived for humanity and oneness in America, Blanco captures our nation in this poem as a serene beauty and a oneness of the American spirit. The poem, again, is entitled, "One Today." One sun rose on us today, kindled over the shores, peeking over the Smokies, greeting the faces of the Great Lakes, spreading a simple truth across the Great Plains, and then charging across the Rockies. One light, waking up rooftops under each one, a story told by our silent gestures moving behind the windows. My face, your face, millions of faces in morning mirrors, each one yawning to life, crescendoing into our day. Pencil yellow school buses, the rhythm of traffic lights, fruit stands, apples, limes, and oranges arrayed like rainbows begging our praise. Silver trucks heavy with oil or paper, bricks or milk, teeming over highways alongside us, on our way to clean tables, read ledgers, or save lives, to teach geometry, or ring up groceries, as my mother did for 20 years, so I could read and write this poem. All of us as vital as the one light we move through, the same light on the blackboards with lessons for the day, equations to solve, history to question, or Adams imagine that I have a dream we kept dreaming, or the impossible vocabulary of sorrow, that won't explain the empty deaths of 20 children marked absent today and forever. Many prayers, but one light breathing color into stained glass windows, life into the faces of bronze statues, warmth onto the steps of our museums and park benches as mothers watch children slide into the day. One ground, our ground, rooting us to every stalk of corn, every head of wheat sown by sweating hands, hands gleaming coal or planting windmills in deserts and hilltops that kept us warm, hands digging trenches, routing pipes and cables, as worn as my father's cutting sugarcane, or my brother and I could have books and shoes. The dust of farms and deserts, cities and plains mingled by one wind, our breath, breathe. Hear it through the day's gorgeous din of honking cabs, buses launching down avenues and symphony of wood steps, guitars screeching subways, and unexpected songbird on your clothesline. Hear squeaky playground swings, trains whistling, or whispers across the cafe's tables. Hear the windows, the doors we open for each other all day, saying hello, salam, howdy, namaste, or buenos dias, in a language my mother taught me, in every language spoken into one wind, carrying our lives without prejudice, as these words break from my lips. One sky, since the Appalachians and Sierras claimed their majesty, and the Mississippi and Colorado worked their way to the sea, thank the work of our hands, weaving steel into bridges, finishing one report for the boss on time, stitching another wound or uniform for the first brush stroke on the portrait, or the last floor on the Freedom Tower, jutting into the sky that yields to our resilience. One sky towards which we sometimes lift our eyes, tired from work, some days guessing at the weather of our lives, and some days giving thanks for a love that loves you back, sometimes praising a mother who knew how to give, or forgiving a father who couldn't give what you wanted. We head home through the gloss of rain or weight of snow, or the plum bush of dust, but always home, always under one sky, our sky, and always one moon like a silent drum tapping on every rooftop and every window of one country, all of us facing the stars, hope, a new constellation waiting for us to map it, waiting for us to name it together. Thank you.
Oh, how test.
Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. I will sing of God's mercy. Every day, every hour, He gives me power. I will sing, giving thanks to Thee for all the dangers, toils, and snares that He has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve Him.
No matter what the test,
Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet.
I know God is able to deliver in time of storm. I know that He'll keep you safe from all earthly harm. One day when my weary soul is at rest, I'm going home to be forever blessed.
Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. I will sing of God's mercy. Every day, every hour, He gives me power. I will sing, giving thanks to Thee for all the dangers, toils, and snares that He has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve Him.
No matter what the test,
Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet.
didn't my God deliver Moses from King Pharaoh? And didn't He cool the fiery furnace? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When I think of what my God can do, He delivered Daniel, and I know He will deliver you.
Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. I will sing of God's mercy. Every day, every hour, He gives me power. I will sing, giving thanks to Thee for all the dangers, toils, and snares that He has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve Him.
No matter what the test,
Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. He never failed me. He never failed me
He
yet.
never failed me.
He never failed me. He never failed me.
My God never failed me.
He never failed me.
He never failed me yet.
Failed me. He never failed me yet. Trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me
sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.
All right. Can we get another round of applause for the folks that just sang and shared the poem? Next, we get to acknowledge the outstanding work that's being done here locally in the New River Valley through the NAACP Community Service Awards and the Silver Life Members Awards. I'd like to welcome the branch president, Mrs. Debbie Travis, and branch secretary, Ms. Shirley Akers, to the stage.
Good afternoon, freedom fighters. It is indeed a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you for coming out as we honor this wonderful man who fought and gave his life for freedom. At this time, we're going to acknowledge some members of our community who have been working hard to give back to the community. As you know, Dr. King believed and preached service to all mankind. So in his honor, our branch recognizes those during the MLK celebration who have served in the community and whose work advances the vision of Dr. King. For this year, we have 2 recipients, and I'm so pleased to introduce them to you. And so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to read the information about each recipient, and then we will have them to come on the stage to receive their awards. So I'm going to ask you to hold your applause. Our first recipient is Dr. Michael Mickey Hickman of Pulaski, Virginia. Dr. Michael Hickman is being awarded the branch's Community Service Award for his outstanding contributions to the New River Valley, especially Pulaski, Virginia. Dr. Hickman has been instrumental in bringing forth the revitalization and awareness of the Calfee Community and Cultural Center, where he serves as president and is on the board of directors. He chairs its museum and history committee. Honoring the rich history of the Calfee Training School and increasing the awareness of African American history of the center and the area is being provided through the museum is very essential. The space will provide multi-generational social, educational, and cultural legacy of this historic Calfee Training School, and it has been significant and a great part of all the work that has been done, along with others in the community. It's not only to retain the history, but also to meet the community's present needs, providing opportunities for future for the youth and others. After attending Calfee Training School and Christiansburg Institute, Institute, he graduated from Pulaski High School, Wytheville Community College, Virginia Tech, and Radford University. He earned an associate, a bachelor's, a master's, and doctorate degrees. He retired after a total of 42 years with the Pulaski County Public Schools, where he worked almost 21 years as an administrator and 21 years as a social studies teacher and athletic coach. He worked for 10 years as a national education consultant. He co-authored 2 instructional books, Catch Them Thinking in Social Studies and The Cooperative Problem Solving in Social Studies. He held consultant positions in 2 national educational organizations called the Think Tank, the Appalachian Educational Laboratory, and the Southern Regional Educational Board. Dr. Hickman has been active in the Pulaski community, where he has served as president of the Sitzburg Elementary School PTO, immediate past president of the Pulaski branch of the NAACP, and he has served on the Pulaski County Partners Coalition and currently serves on the Carilion Board of Directors for the New River Valley Medical Center. He worked and volunteered with the local recreation department for over 50 years. Dr. Hickman is a member of the Randolph Avenue United Methodist Church, Pulaski, Virginia. He is married to Mrs. Marva Hickman. They have 1 daughter, Tristan Hickman, and 3 grandchildren who are with him today, Akia Austin, Evan Austin, and Tegan Hickman. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause, even though I said we'll hold it, for Mr. Hickman. And we're going to have him come on stage in just a few moments. Our next recipient is from Blacksburg, Virginia. He's been awarded this for his outstanding contributions to the New River Valley and beyond, Mr. John Anthony Sills. John, for 6 years consecutively, has visited and participated in the Kairos Prison Ministry Program in Pocahontas, Virginia, visiting inmates and providing support and information to increase their positive outlook on life. Kairos is a Christian-based ministry which is designed to educate and inspire those to transform their lives so they can re-enter their communities as productive citizens. John also visited juveniles in the local detention centers and again providing support and encouragement. And I must share, John single-handedly made over 200 cookies that he prepared himself to take to the inmates at Pocahontas. Outstanding. John has volunteered for Meals on Wheels in Fairlawn for over 2 years, helping to assure that families and elderly receive meals. He also worked with his church, Asbury United Methodist Church, in providing help with the Wolf Pack food program to students in need in Montgomery County. Also, he has given his time to his community by serving on the Board of Elections here in Montgomery County for over 5 years, and he has served as director. John is an NAACP Life member of the Montgomery County, Rapid City, Floyd County branch, and gives support through his participation in various activities. John has also participated in and served on several committees with the Dialogue on Race, which is a local community organization to discuss race relations and tackle racial inequality here in Montgomery County. John received his BS degree in mechanical engineering from Illinois Institute of Technology in 1980 and a Master of Manufacturing Engineering from Carnegie Mellon University in 1991. He recently retired after several years of working at Corning Incorporated as an engineering manager. John is a member of the Asbury United Methodist Church, and he is married to Angela Sills, and they have 4 children, Janelle Sills Fleming, and her husband Frank, and sons Anthony, Marcus, and Malcolm. Please help me welcome and applaud Mr. John Sills. So I'm going to ask you both if you'll please come forward. You can take it and walk over there. Okay, and our secretary is going to present these awards to each. First, Dr. John Sills. We appreciate all that you have done, John, in helping the community through your advocacy, and we want you to know that we really appreciate it. Dr. Hickman, same. We thank you both for all that you have done, all of the hours that you've spent in giving back, and that is what Dr. Martin Luther King wanted, for us to serve. So again, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Again, we'd like to thank all of you who are here, and I do recognize that many of you are members of the NAACP, and we want to encourage you to continue supporting us and working with us. So at this time, our secretary is going to tell you a little bit about membership, and we hope that you will talk with her before you leave this afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Membership is the lifeblood of our organization. Without you, we cannot exist and implement the needed programs for our community. Your commitment and volunteerism are essential. We hope that each of you today, if you are already are not a member, will become a member of our branch. The annual membership is only $30 a year, and a Silver Life membership is $750, which is payable in $75 annual installments. As secretary, I am here to assist you with any questions about a new or renewal membership. Please visit our website, which is www.mrfnaacp.org for additional information. I look forward to hearing from you. So now I'll have Miss Debbie Travis come back, and she will recognize our 4 members who recently became fully paid Silver Life members.
Thank you so much, Shirley. Again, we appreciate all memberships, and even if you're not a member, we appreciate the support that you have given us here in Montgomery County and beyond. But we would like to recognize those persons, and we have 4 this year, who made that commitment to be lifetime members, and so we want to recognize them. So at this time, we're going to recognize our 2 of the first Silver Life members from Christiansburg, Virginia. So I'm going to call Dr. Randolph Grayson, better known as Randy, to come forward, and his wife, Mrs. Joan Grayson. These are our 2 Silver Life members who became Silver Life in 2022, and we want to share with the audience that we really appreciate this life membership, and these plaques signify that you are certified, Joan and Dr. Grayson, as a life member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, testifying forever to our faith in the future of all Americans in the United States and in the principles of equality and justice in the American Constitution. Witnessed by the Board of Directors, National NAACP, Derek Johnson, President, CEO, and Leon Russell, Chairman of the Board. Joan? We also have two persons who've worked with the local Montgomery County NAACP for many years and have shown their commitment from Blacksburg, Virginia. So at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Larry Bechtel and his wife, Ms. Ann Shawhan, if they'll please come forward. Larry and Ann, we'd like to thank you all for making that commitment to be life members of our branch, and we really appreciate all the work that you've done, and we continue looking forward to the work that you will continue to do. So, on behalf of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, having paid the sum of $750 into the treasury of the national office, testifying forever to our faith in the future of all Americans in the United States and in the principles of equality and justice in the American Constitution, hereby present to you from the Board of Directors, President Derek Johnson and Leon Russell, Chairman of the Board. Congratulations. Thank you. Let's once again applaud all four of our recipients of their Silver Life Awards. As each of you know, we also have a youth council of the Montgomery County, Rapid City, Floyd County branch, and you heard a tribute from one of our co-advisors earlier. We have a young lady who has served as the youth council president for 3 years. She graduated last year from Blacksburg High School, and she is currently attending the New River Community College, and she was one of the recipients of the Samuel H. Clark Scholarship Program. So at this time, I would like to have Ms. Tyler Graves, if she'll come forward. Tyler, on behalf of the Montgomery County, Rapid City, Floyd County Youth Council, we want to share our appreciation to you for serving as the council's president for over 3 years and rendering service to the youth in our community. So we hereby present this award to Ms. Tyler Graves, senior, Blacksburg High School, in recognition of her service as Youth Council President, June 2020 to May 2023, awarded this 14th day of January 2024, Blacksburg, Virginia. Co-advisors Deborah Travis, Cheryl Burl Graves, and Tamara Cherry Clark, youth advisors. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, and we will encourage all to continue supporting our youth as they grow and contribute back to society. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you all of the officers, or at least have all the officers of the Montgomery County, Rapid City, Floyd County branch to stand. And then we're going to have our treasurer, Ms. Jill Stewart, Dr. Jill Stewart, and Ms. Mary North to come up to share information about the Samuel H. Clark Scholarship Program and a free will offering. So at this time, would all officers and members at large please stand? Thank you for your support and your continued commitment. So at this time, if Dr. Stewart will please come forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to speak to you today about the Samuel H. Clark Scholarship. The local MRF branch of NAACP has awarded up to 5 $1,000 scholarships to well-deserving, qualifying high school students in Montgomery County, Radford, and Floyd County since 1998, until last year, when we awarded $2,000 scholarships. Those eligible are graduating high school students who are members of the MRF NAACP Youth Council and/or are a child or grandchild or dependent of a current branch member. The scholarship is named for Samuel Harris Clark. He served 4 years, consecutive terms, as president of this branch. He worked for decades for the Norfolk and Western Railroad because black railroad employees were denied promotions, equal pay, reasonable hours, and benefits that were enjoyed by white railroad employees. Mr. Clark joined a union that represented African American railroad workers. He eventually led the union through many legal decisions that upheld the rights of black railroad employees. Unfortunately, all were not enforced, so he sued Norfolk and Western and won. Samuel H. Clark was indeed a man of great courage. After he retired from the railroad in 1955, Mr. Clark moved to Christiansburg and continued his dedication to public service, labor rights, and racial equality. And he fought to make changes in this community through his NAACP work. When he died in 1979, he was buried in Schaefer Community Cemetery in Christiansburg. It was appropriate that this branch honor Samuel H. Clark by creating a scholarship in his name. So we are pleased to announce the 2023 recipients of the Samuel H. Clark Scholarship. If you will stand when I call your name, that will be great. Ms. Tyler Graves graduated from Blacksburg High School, now attending New River Community College. Mr. Richard McCrae graduated from Christiansburg High School, now attending New River Community College. Mr. Robert McCrae graduated from Christiansburg High School and is now attending Virginia Tech. Congratulations to each of these recipients. You may be wondering how the Samuel H. Clark scholarships are funded. Well, they are completely funded by donations. Thanks to many generous donors, our branch is now able to offer up to 5 2,000 scholarships to eligible students. All donations received from today's Martin Luther King celebration will go directly to funding the scholarship, honoring this remarkable man. I thank all of you who have already sent in your donations and welcome other donations that can either be put in the collection plates that are going to be passed around or mailed to our post office box in Christiansburg, or submitted online through Act Blue. That information you can find on our Facebook page, MRF NAACP. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the award winners, and thank you all for your generous donations today or online. We appreciate it. It does impact our youth. I'm excited to hear my dear sister, Ms. Tameka Paige, who is today's keynote speaker. Tameka Paige is a native of Roanoke, Virginia. Ms. Paige has worked in federal, state, and local government as well as the private sector. She's a public information officer and community relations specialist for the Roanoke City Sheriffs Office in Roanoke, Virginia. She's responsible for the imagery of the department, providing the public with information and helping to improve the relationship between law enforcement and the community served. She oversees a team to include community engagement personnel and volunteers. She obtained her Associate of Applied Science and Administration of Justice from Virginia Western Community College, a dual Bachelor of Science in Leadership and Management in Human Services from Bluefield College, and earned her Master's in Public Administration from Old Dominion University. In addition, she volunteers with a local organization committed to recognizing the accomplishments of others as well as servicing those in need within the community. She's a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Omega Chi Zeta chapter located here in Christiansburg, Virginia. She believes we all have a purpose and that we should strive to make a positive impact in the life of one another, whether you touch 1, 100, or 1,000. We all have something meaningful to impart on each other. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Tameka Paige as this afternoon's keynote speaker.
Good afternoon. Oh, that was a good response. I like that. So, first I would like to say, because this came off, is this okay if I take this off and just speak using this? Okay, that works for me. I would like to say thank you to the Montgomery Floyd Radford City NAACP chapter for allowing me to be today's keynote speaker. I would also like to thank those that enter the highways and byways in support of. So before I start, I'm going to do a little socialization exercise. Would you please look to your left and to your right? And if the person sitting beside you is not someone that you greeted when you entered, please do so at this time. I like. So now that you've greeted the person to your left and to your right, look behind you. Did you greet them as well? Thank you. So I'm going to go a little off script, which is something that I normally don't advise, but as today's keynote speaker, you may be wondering, why would they pick her? What does she have to say, or what can she impart on us? So yes, I do have a speech. You've heard about my educational background, but I just want to tell you some of the jobs that I've had that have kind of left a meaningful impact for me. One of the words that I will use right now is empathy. So just quickly, I worked at the Office of Hearings and Appeals for Social Security. I was very young and I was attending a community college, and that was the first time that I answered the phone and someone on the phone was crying because they had applied for benefits, disability, and had been denied. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. It was the first time that I had a job that people would drop off information, and not this, but this. And they wanted to know why they could not get assistance. That was my first take at being empathetic for others when I had no idea what their situation was. The second time I also worked at the Department of Social Services. And there, people apply because they need assistance. And when I first started, I worked in the weatherization program, and so people were calling because they couldn't afford to pay their light bill or their furnace had broke and they needed help with it. And so there again, I had people that were on the phone crying, talking about how cold it was in the home, or how their lights had been cut off or were going to get cut off, and they needed assistance. And while I could go home and be warm and toasty, I had to be empathetic. And when people called, I not just said, okay, we'll get back to you, but made sure to follow up and do whatever was necessary to ensure that we could assist them. Compassion came from a job in which I was a compliance director at a pharmacy. And to have a parent call and tell you that their daughter is on an insulin pump, and where they live at, they do not carry that insulin. And so that's the reason why they order it through your company. But your company, for whatever reason, did not get the order out. And the mother is crying and telling you that if I don't get it this weekend, I don't know if my daughter is going to make it. That's compassion. Compassion is what I took from that. So I use those examples because before I begin to speak, I think that you should understand that it's not just the accolades, but some of the life experiences that I use when preparing this. So let me start by saying I hope that my words impress upon you the true importance of Martin Luther King Jr. as a part of our nation's history. Some would say so much of African American history does not need to be imparted in the here and now, as it reflects such ugliness. However, I would say, without that history, there is no mark of where we have been, where we are presently, and no measure of where we are headed. Do not look forward to tomorrow as simply a day to take off from work. However, take the time to educate yourself and also honor Dr. King on what would have been his 95th birthday. Understand he became a civil rights activist to ensure the inequities that a race was suffering were removed so that there would be equality for all. Inequities and equality. As we gather today, I want to ensure you understand the topic to be presented. In 1957, Dr. King gave a speech titled Birth of a New Nation, and in it, he references two main points. For those of you that prefer Cliff Notes, reconciliation and redemption is what leads to a beloved community. To help you understand further, reconciliation is defined as the act of making one view or belief compatible with another. Redemption is the action of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil. I believe if you are here in this vessel of delivery, in this house of worship, regardless of the program, you walk through the doors because you have at minimum a mustard seed worth of belief in the higher power. I say that because I could not deliver my words without including some from the great book. In the New Testament, Titus is directed in chapter 3, verse 2, to speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving divers lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy. And here we are. The ending says, we as people are hateful and hating one another. As I speak about what a beloved community means to me, I would request that when you leave here today, you ask yourself one question. Do you know and love thy neighbor? In my culture, it is common to hear people say, "Why you hating on me? Oh, you just keep hating on me. Every time I got something on, you got something to say about it." The term is used to question comments about clothing, hair, money, etc. I wonder, however, do people realize the unaddressed hate that those in our society still have for each other? Or we dress it up real pretty with, "How you doing?" and likes on social media, yet can pass our Facebook friend walking on the side of the road and not even stop to offer a ride. Before we can be a beloved community, we must have love for oneself. I have struggled in loving all parts of me for many reasons, some including colorism by my people and racism by others. In my journey to where I am now, I have, however, identified my purpose. They appear to be that I am a nurturer, counselor, or educator in the realm that God sees fit. In my present position, one of my main jobs is to ensure the relationship between law enforcement and those that we serve is improved. This, however, can be a daunting task when reports of police and/or correctional brutality are flashed across our screens as a daily occurrence. You may ask me, why would you take on this role? The answer is complex, yet it is simple. If not I, then who? Why not have a positive effect on the beloved community I hope to see? So, if you'll remember back to the socialization task that I gave you all, I did so that I could ask, when you entered the doors today, did you greet each other? Or did you simply go to your seat? Did you only greet those with whom you have commonality? If that be the case, you may never know your neighbor. Now, here is where I may step on a few toes, so I'll ask for forgiveness later. In this area of Virginia, there is a large difference in the races of those that make up the melting pot of the collective community. This includes education level, finances, and opportunities for growth. What I have committed to myself is to find the path that allows me to help lessen those types of gaps, whether it be in my community or another. If you were to ask me, do I know and love my neighbor? Unlike some others who would not be forthcoming, I would tell you, I do not know my neighbors as I should. And love is a word that I hold extremely close because I believe that many use it like the word hello when you walk in the room. Love is not disposable, and it is just not a word that you use when I love you. Do you really? Do you really know the meaning behind that word? You may ask, Well, then why are you speaking about a beloved community if you feel this way? Easy. Because I am committed to the growth of myself and others, and therefore hope to be able to say yes one day with no hesitancy in my response. Dr. King devoted his life to one of equality for all. And while all of us want to have our basic needs met, when I am considering a job, educational path, or even organizations, I consider what I will learn from this and how it will help me make a difference in the life of another. So with that, I'll ask you again, do you know and love your neighbor? Can any of you say in this room, unequivocally, those in your neighborhoods, those that you work with every day, those that you pass, just bypass, do you know and truly love them in the manner that you should? Is there reconciliation that needs to occur? And do you need to redeem for any ill will against each other? So I have a few questions for you to ponder on. Where are we now as a community? How many of us can borrow a cup of sugar from our neighbor? Not because they don't have it, but because we don't even know their name. How many of us respond when a crisis hits in the neighboring city or county? How many of us now pass by an accident on the side of the road and simply say, I sure hope they okay? You don't see a first responder on site, however, you're not the person that makes the call. How many of us have become comfortable with complacency? Do you encourage the heart of another? Do you say thank you? Do you ask, are you okay? I ask these questions because if you cannot say yes or I do to all or most, then I hate to hurt your feelings, but you are part of the problem. And unfortunately, not yet the solution to creating a beloved community. Y'all haven't gotten mad at me yet, have you? Okay, because y'all awfully quiet. I just want to make sure I didn't lose you yet. Equality in all areas of life was Dr. King's vision. His mission was a society governed by love, not violence or indifference. There again, a vision and a mission. For most of us that are employed, your employer has a mission, vision, and value statement. Hate and or hate for one another has no place in a beloved community. Now let me say, I am not naive enough to believe that a few speeches or even books on equality may have the profound effect on you. So as I stand here today, I am going to impart what I call breadcrumbs that when sprinkled on your path, hopefully can lead us both to a desired destination. Number one, I would ask that you look inward. ask yourself all of the W questions, which are who, what, why, where, and when. What did I ask you to ask yourself? Okay, I haven't lost you yet. I just want to make sure. So, who are you? What is your purpose? Why are you here at this place or time? Where are you trying to go? And when will you take the steps to become a part of said beloved community? Now, as I ask you these questions, I will speak about myself. So how have I done this? While I still question what my extended purpose is before I depart this world, as I spoke earlier, I have identified the gifts I have to offer. I believe that I am here at this place because I have requested God open new doors and pathways of opportunities. As I move forward, I am continuously considering where my presence will have the greatest impact. My when is now. As I have explained, I entered into my new profession based on my want to influence my community in a positive way. Number 2, do you need to be redeemed? Have you shown ill will towards others simply because? I would ask that each of you take a mirror and sit in front of it and ask yourself the hard questions. Do you need to apologize to yourself for mistakes of the past? Do you need to be forgiving of yourself before you can forgive thy neighbor? As I ask you to be self-reflective, I must share that I too have fallen short. I have had to forgive myself for past relationships, fear, lack of understanding, and at times a conceited mindset and only thinking of self. Yes, I said conceited, not to be confused with confidence or self-care. Confidence is required to move in your purpose, as it trumps the fear that keeps us from acting on what could actually be our breakthrough. And self-care is a necessary realignment. Number 3, how do we get those who would otherwise choose to walk on opposite sides of the street to reconcile and realize that communication, understanding, and empathy towards others offers us an opportunity to walk together? When I was younger, I worked at a movie theater, and a customer and his family came in. It was the first time in public that I was called by a derogatory name for African Americans. I remember crying because I could not figure out why he was so mad to be waited on by a person of color. However, I did not let this deter me from befriending others who were not like me. During my first time in college, myself and a blonde, blue-eyed female were hired as interns, and the difference in greeting and treatment was apparent. Yet I did not let this deter me from befriending others who were not like me. As I have matured in my professional career, I have been a first. In fact, I remember being made a manager of a department and specifically being told 2 seconds later, you are the first African American. You have no choice but to do well in this role. Now, this was not 1965, but 2005. Nearly 20 years later, I still find myself in meetings and other settings where I am the only African American in the room. However, I do not let this deter me from befriending others who are not like me. Why do I choose to share this? Because if I am unwilling to listen to my neighbor as well as share my point of view to come to a common place, there can be no reconciliation. If you remember earlier, I provided that Dr. King's 2 points of a beloved community involve both redemption and reconciliation. As I near the end of my speech, I would ask again, do you know and love thy neighbor? Are you committed to what a true beloved community is? If you have not taken the steps to be part of the solution, I would implore that you replay the words I have shared with you today and begin to think about how you can make a difference in your community. I would like to say, it has been a pleasure. I thank you for listening to the words that I've spoken today. I hope you have received them in the manner in which I attempted to deliver them. I would say this, however. If during my speech there was no aha moment, then I apologize to you, because that means I was not the conduit you needed to receive the message. If, however, the words heard here today gave you any form of pause and made you question yourself, then I have met the purpose of being before you on this day. Again, I thank you, wish you well, and hope the next time I see any of you in this room, I will know you because we have both taken the steps to know and love thy neighbor. Thank you.
She was getting away from me here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was real fast. Let me come back for that.
Ms. Page, on behalf of all the officers, all who are present here today, we thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us and to remind us that to have a community that works together, it starts with each of us. Absolutely. And that we have to be empathetic and we have to have the encouragement to help others. And so, in appreciation, the Montgomery County, Rapid City, Floyd County branch of the NAACP, in appreciation to Ms. Tameka Paige, Speaker for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration, thank you for your leadership, your commitment and advocacy in the pursuit of justice and equality for all. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And please accept this small gift as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm the one who's going to take the picture. Thanks.
So as we end our Dr. Martin Luther King birthday celebration, again, the members and officers of the Montgomery County, Rapid City, Floyd County branch of the NAACP wish to express sincere gratitude for all of your presence, all of the participants and organizers, and the celebration we know could not be a success without you. I'd like to thank Dr. Cracia Townsend, our Mistress of Ceremonies, for leading our program, to Reverend Tommy McDearest, the pastor of the church on Main, to the wonderful choir and their choir director, Tim Woolwine, our pianist, Daniel Taylor, to our wonderful soloist, Dr. Deanna Katai, all the ushers from the AKA sorority, and to our NAACP Youth Council members and all the volunteers who took their time to help us have this celebration. Let us strive to have a beloved community, and we know and we must focus on starting with ourselves. The link will be available to this program today. It will be on the Facebook page of the Church on Main and also on YouTube. So please, for those who may not have been able to come today, share that with them. And for those of you who would like to review the program again, you know it's available. We will be serving refreshments downstairs so that you can get to know your neighbor. So we ask you to please join us. And for the Samuel H. Clark Scholarship Fund, I am so pleased to announce that we collected $1,592.77. Thank you. So as you leave here today, let us not forget that Dr. King was a believer in service and work for mankind. I believe if he were here with us today, he would employ us, and I quote, "Rise up tonight with greater readiness. Let us stand with a greater determination, and let us move on to these powerful days, these days of challenge, to make America what it ought to be. We have the opportunity to make America a better nation." So please join me now in standing as we sing, "We Shall Overcome."